And we are live here for the 988 Suicide Awareness 200 at Kansas Speedway, where this should be a good one in the BSR Grid Network Truck Series. We are back after a couple weeks away. These drivers, they are chomping at the bits to get back to racing. It's been, like I said, a couple of weeks since the last one. Which was at Michigan International Speedway. I really am sad that I missed that one, but it looked like a fun race nonetheless. But we have our focuses on Kansas, where we are going to see 134 laps of fast-paced action. I'm Joshua Carpenter. I'm joined by Olivia Hayward. Olivia, how you doing?
I'm doing well. It's good to be back with the Grid Network Truck Series, and we're only 5 rounds away from getting into our playoffs here. 6 races because Talladega going to be a little bit different with the double 40 laps over there. But we have, no, I can't count. We have 6 rounds, 7 races before the end of the season. So we're at the halfway point of our regular season in terms of race count. So far, we have 5 unique winners just in raw, of course, going back to back the last 2 rounds and looking for the three-peat. So those spots likely to end up as wildcards in the playoffs. But of course, everyone also vying for those top positions that'll be oh so crucial as we get into the back half of the regular season.
Yeah, and it's just, we've already had some crazy races. How about that Eldora race as well? That was fantastic. You mentioned Justin Raw having a couple of back-to-back wins, that being one of them. That was a fantastic race we had. Some other wild cards. And the fact that we have a doubleheader at Talladega to finish off the regular season. We've done it in the past. It's been chaotic in the past, and I don't expect anything different when we do hit, those races to finish up the regular season. Still quite a while till we get there, but it should be a fun road until we get to that point.
Yeah, those are going to be very important, especially if they both award full points, which I'm not sure if that's the rule, but if it is, then going to be a lot to play for going into those final 2 races. And of course, if some of those drivers with wins are already above the cut line, and that opens up more wildcard opportunities, then it could get very feisty indeed at the front of those fields. We've just a couple minutes into qualifying now. A lot of drivers with fast laps. Kemp currently setting the pace at the top of the board with a 30.891. Very consistent between his 2 laps, only 2 1,000ths of a second difference. So, it'll be interesting to see if anyone can find improvements on lap number 2, or whether they can find more by pushing on lap 1. Justin Durand and now Zach Probst have in fact gone fastest, and they found big improvements on lap 2. I think we're in the high side lap 1, and now you're seeing the times come through. Rivers Jones and Duncan 4 at the top of the board, and now Alex Kerfen in the number 30. So that shows what preparation can do for those qualifying laps, because we thought massive consistency was going to be the story, and then suddenly jumping through with that second lap riding the top side. We now ride with Stephen Littoral, who is just finishing up the run and is going to jump to 11th fastest as Randy Payne goes 3rd on the board.
And Aaron Von Druska goes to P16 after his first lap. See how Von Druska does on lap number 2. Only one other driver taking a qualifying lap right now, that being the 11 of Fidel Fabian. And actually Justin Rott, no, Rott's already completed both his laps. So Von Druska, not an improvement, P16.
And it's a little surprising to see so many drivers waiting so late. Philip Scott is now rolling off pit lane, but might not have time to get both laps in. We've got a number of drivers who are just opting to start from the back of the field. We only have a couple of guys with those EOL penalties to serve. Chicano Safnry and then Jacob Locklear, who I do not believe is in the field. So a lot of drivers electing to start from the tail end, going to work their way into this one and try and see what they can do by, of course, the end of mile number 50, which is going to award stage points and a crucial playoff point to whoever crosses the line in first.
Fidel Fabian coming across the line to finish his second lap. It's going to be P11. Philip Scott, I don't think he's going to have time for a second lap, as it takes at least 30-point-something seconds to get around here. There's 17 seconds left now. Philip Scott 18th with lap number 1. I don't think he's going to get there. Well, I know he's not going to get there.
No. It's shades of, the Auto Club qualifying that we had a few years back in the groups, where just mistiming it, going to see the checkered flag before finding that hot lap. And Philip Scott is going to start from 18th on the grid. We go now to that starting lineup. Alex Kerfen, of course, is going to line up in that pole position.
And, Alex Kerfen, you mentioned on the pole. Rivers Jones going to start to his outside in second. Third, it's going to be Randy Payne. Duncan Fall will start fourth. Fifth place, Zach Probst. Justin Rand going to start in sixth. Seventh, Alonso Chicano. Levi Poland will start eighth. Ninth place, it's Justin Rott. And William Kempf starts from the 10th position.
We've got Fidel Fabian lined up in P11 with Michael Walls to the outside. Then Stephen Littrell and Lingen Bingaman in row number 7. Ryan Bodie, the final driver in that 32nd bracket. He will line up 15th with Conor McCorkle to his outside. And then Aaron Von Druska and Philip Scott, your final 2 drivers with times on the board. It'll be Gabe Cazzola, Tristan Maher, Stephen Thornton, Shane O'Neill, Dakota Knoll, and Matthew Stotts, all lining up from the tail end in tonight's race.
So now that we know where our drivers are starting, let's go ahead and do one of my favorite things to do, and that is our picks to win. Olivia, who do you have?
Oh, I don't think I can pick the 3P. I think that is tempting fate a little bit too much. I am gonna go with one. I'm gonna go with Walls. I'm gonna go with the teammate. I think he's gonna get the job done and deny Justin Rohr the 3 in a row.
I like that. Walls is actually really good at tracks like this. So that's not a bad pick. I don't know who I want to go with.
I'd recommend not Chicano as he pulls to the inside for an EOL.
Yeah,
He could come back through, but he's going to have a rough time of it.
He could. It's going to be a long race. You know what? I'm going to go with the guy that's starting on the front row. And that's right, Rivers Jones. He is also...
If it was Kirby, you'd say the guy starting on pole.
Yes, this is true. Rivers Jones, though, he is phenomenal as well. Championship contender last season, unfortunately, was not able to make the final race because, fortunately, a life achievement for him, graduating high school. But he's an incredible driver, and he's got a pretty good view from the front row to start this race tonight. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Rivers Jones.
It's a very solid pick. See how the outside line moves here on the start. This truck is going to pull to the inside, and it'll be Barney the Flagman in control of this start between Alex Kerfen and Rivers Jones.
And the green flag is waving. The 988 Suicide Awareness 200 at Kansas is underway. Actually, a really good jump by that outside line. Kerfan just kind of holding on right now. He's got the inside line advantage going through turn 1 and 2. Not quite clear of Rivers Jones. Jones getting a push from that 16 of Duncan Fall. Fall's going to get loose. Just a little bit.
Oh, and Payne loose on the bottom as well, going to lose a couple spots. Nearly swept up into Rivers Jones. And Alex Kirkman leads lap 1 and took a commanding run through 3 and 4 there. Yeah, 3 wide here for the 6th position. Wall's working his way on the outside, and the yellow flag is out behind. And Aaron Von Druska is involved on lap number 2.
Take a look at the JCTV replay. We're 3 wide and contact with Gabe Kazola. Sent Von Druska up into... I'm not sure who that was.
That was Lyndon Bingaman in the number 35. I think it might have been Kazola coming down slightly, but I think Netcode doing a lot of the work there to turn that into a spin. Of course, Von Druska a bit lucky to have a trip to the outside, give him that buffer. I'm sure Linda Bingaman not so happy about it. So a little bit of damage on that left door. Might come down pit lane to get that buffed out before we take our first restart of the night.
An early caution. Involving Aaron Von Druska. Tristan Meyer is
having connection issues, yeah. The 3 drivers involved in that incident all came down pit lane along with Alonso Chicano. But Tristan Maher, been blinking in and out of the racetrack here, is pulling down pit lane right now. Maybe to try and get that fixed up before we head into the rest of the race.
Yeah, every time I've got the camera on him, he is blinking heavily. Not sure exactly what's going on with Maher.
I'll keep an eye out. I'd recommend maybe you don't look at him to spare the viewers the epilepsy warning.
Yeah.
But he is in pit road. He's getting a little bit of service here. I think mainly going to be focused on trying to get that hardware issue all sorted. Chicano took fuel only, just opting to extend his strategy a little bit. Von Druska, Kazola, and Lingerman all took slight repairs and are back out on the racetrack here.
So she's going.
Von Druska took tires even quite early for that.
Ooh. I wonder if that was an accident.
I think it is.
'Cause we don't get unlimited tires here in the BSR Grid Network Truck Series. In fact, it is very limited what you get. I cannot imagine wanting to take tires. The field is 2x2, of course. It's been a while, so we'll remind you there is a choose cone rule. Once these drivers get up to the start-finish line, you choose at the start-finish line, crossing it. If you want the bottom, you go down towards the apron. If you want the outside, you go up towards the wall. Kerfan, of course, chose the bottom, and Rivers Jones taking the top. We will see here how these drivers fare with their lane choices. So we're going to go green with 129 laps to go at Kansas Speedway. This pace truck is coming into the safety of pit road. Alex Kerfan, he's going to hit the restart zone. Green flags back out. Here we go, one more time at Kansas.
this time has the jump on Rivers Jones, and is going to be up and away through 1 and 2. They have to defend the move here. Does go well to the inside, forces Rivers Jones to take the outside line through 3 and 4. And we saw how well Kerfan was able to hold this on lap number 1 of this race. He will once again clear, slotting just behind Rivers Jones. Try and block everyone here. The nearly 4 wide behind. Trying to play all those lanes, but Justin Gore is going to get to the inside, the 3 wide behind. And you can tell that early in this run, when they have tyre to work with, they can really settle into a pack. And it's caused another caution. This time, it's Philip Scott grinding to a halt on the backstretch. And that's some pretty significant damage to the number 9 as well.
Randy Payne also involved, I think. Oh, yeah, Randy Payne definitely involved. Okay, let's see what happened to him. I think that was going to be the best camera view. What in the world? Just came off the wall and tagged Luttrell.
Yeah, and then, of course, was up against that wall with Philip Scott sort of pinched to the inside, a little bit unsighted even. That's pretty significant front-end damage. See, they all scatter, but Scott's the one up highest. Doesn't really have a lane to go to. Some pretty extensive repairs for that number 9 crew if they want to try and get back up through the field. As a few more drivers come down pit road. A lot of the ones involved, a lot of the ones were already at the tail end. Randy Payne, in fact, is already 1 lap down pit before the lane opened and is still stationary.
So I want to point out, Philip Scott, I believe this is his return race, was suspended for 3 races. I believe this is his return race, and this is not the way that he wants to be welcomed back. Nothing of his doing. I mean, he's just an innocent bystander, but very unfortunate. The driver of the number 9.
Right now, only 1 driver confirmed to be a lap down. That is Randy Payne, who I believe may have gotten a meatball in that incident. The rest of the field looks like they're going to try and roll off and stay on the lead lap, carrying some of those wounds through to hopefully find another caution to get them fixed. I tell you, Philip Scott's truck does not look in one piece, but it looked a lot better than it did. As Kerfan once again goes low on this restart. They'll try it one more time in that formation. It's worked out well enough for Jones. He's held on to 2nd place through all of these restarts, just hasn't had a shot at number 30.
Yeah, I think the initial start of the race is on green. Every restart after that is on the leader as soon as he gets to the restart zone. So I think it's, going to be even harder for Rivers to try to time that jump correctly. Didn't do such a bad job last time. We'll see this time around how he is able to fare on the restart.
Yeah, I'm sure hoping that we can get a long green flag run in, see some of that tyre wear and maybe pick his way around from the number 30 through that. As of yet, we have yet to make it 2 laps without a caution. Either of these 2 attempts. We'll see whether we can get it done. 3rd time around, Alex Kerfan will enter the restart zone. He'll get the power down quite early, and Rivers Jones is going to be left behind and going to be stuck side by side with Duncan 4 this time. The downside of the outside groove, you can't quite see quite as well when the truck beside you goes. Duncan 4 is Going to win the drag race through 1 and 2. He's going to be clear. And he's going to bring his GOAT Racing teammate of Michael Walls through with him.
I'd say I see a whole lot of GOAT. From Fall, Walls, Jones, Fabian, Rott, Alex Kerfan. He is in front of a whole lot of GOATs right now who are very close to being 3 wide for second.
And Walls is making a charge. Started in the 12th position in this one. Has only had about 5 racing laps to work with. And he's already up into second place and lining up a move on Alex Kerfan here.
He's going straight to the wall. Is Walls trying to rip that high side. He's got to run on Kerfan. Kerfan goes low to block. Down the front straightaway. They're going to be side by side entering turn 1.
There's a nice wide apron here. You saw both drivers able to run side by side below the white line. It is going to be nice and legal, of course. It's not banned anywhere outside of super speedways, but Walls gets to the inside into turn number 3. He's going to be clear coming off the corner, and that is going to be a lap lead for the number 7 here on lap 13 of 134.
Kerfan is under fire from those GOAT guys. As far as underneath, Jones right behind Kerfan. He's going to have a big run on Walls. He goes to the bottom. Not going to get to the inside of Walls entering turn 3. Kerfan, I think he's going to start biding his time a little bit. Staying patient.
We've still got 20 laps until the end of this stage. Tire wear as we run green is going to become quite a big factor here. Kansas Speedway only banned to, I mean, it's progressive between 17 and 20 degrees, but it's not the highest banking we have in the series, and you can very easily burn off the tires if you try and run wide open for too long.
Faw is in the
wall there. And shuffled all the way back to now P6, and to be fighting to try and hold on to that position. To the inside, that's Zach Pro in the number 62.
We are side by side for the race lead between Kerfan and Walls. Kerfan doing a fantastic job at setting Walls up. Walls doing a fantastic job at trying to hold position. And William Kempf, he's coming up into the picture as well, P3. Kempf started P10.
Yeah, a lot of comings and goes there. Belvadio started in 11th as well, now runs in the 5th position. Just 7/10 of a second behind your race lead. Meanwhile, drivers like Levi Poland, Chicano actually started all the way at the back and was up to 10th place. So that's a bit of an exception. A few drivers have fallen back from 4 down 3 positions after catching the wall through 3 and 4. The question is going to be, are they pushing a little bit too hard too early? Are they going to start to fade before we hit the end of that first pit stop in the first stage?
Here comes William Kempf. Actually might have caught the wall off turn 2. Rivers Jones going to take a peek to the inside. They're going to be side by side entering turn 3. English is hard sometimes.
Oh, Chicano is around. I actually found the inside wall on the backstretch. We stayed green, well off the racing surface that prior incident. After a strong charge back through the field, all comes undone here on lap number 19. And it's off turn 2. You saw into the wall from Ryan Bodie. And as kind of tried to avoid, just got caught up with the truck to the inside of Levi Poland. I think the 45 is going to be mostly in one piece from that. But the same can't be said for Chicano.
Oh my goodness.
That's good wheel work to make sure he keeps it pointed in the right direction.
Yeah. I think it's still going to hurt the truck a little bit for Bolin, but man, that is rough.
Yeah. Looking like it could be the third retirement of the night. Philip Scott has now parked after that prior incident. Randy Payne tried to turn some lap, but just couldn't find the pace in that number 75. And now Chicano is on the pit road and might corner behind the wall.
Justin Raw back here, side by side with Cody McCorkle.
Looks the inside as well. We've seen how powerful the inside group is through 3 and 4. It's going to be able to clear for that 8th position, but it's going to be under attack with that run off the high side. Justin Durand looking behind him, a little push. Try and work towards that lead group.
William Kempf mentioned he started 10th and was up to 3rd, now in 5th. And he's going to be under pressure from Duncan Fall here in just a moment.
You can see how tricky it is for these drivers, even just in lap 20 or so, to keep the truck off the wall. Trap temperature at 111 Fahrenheit here in Kansas. And we are really struggling to find the performance in those good years fall off. Approaching a 2.5 seconds already from what we were running at the start of the race.
And, you know, in prior seasons, we've had a caution at the stage break. And so, you know, the stage is coming in 10 laps. It's not the case. You know, here this season, we're not going to have a caution at the stage break. And goodness, I think Rivers Jones just caught the wall off of turn 2. And Fidel Fabian goes underneath Jones and try to take the 3rd position away. But as I was saying, you know, we're not going to have that guaranteed caution. Stage points are going to be awarded. You know, we are still going to have a stage, but there's not going to be a caution. So right now it's, you know, you're probably going to be running long.
Unless you definitely expecting to run to about 45. Of course, we have seen some cautions come out in the tight racing towards the end of the stage. Given this tyre wear, I think we're going to see trucks start to spread out even more in these final 10 laps of stage 1. Could be more of a solo incident that might spark the caution. That being said, this particular trio is on top of each other. Top 2 starting to run away, but Fidel Fabian under immense pressure from Jones, Kemp, 4 folks brought behind.
Yeah, and I think, you know, Walls has the clean air. He's going to continue to use it to his advantage. These guys back here, they don't have the clean air. So they're working with a lot of dirty air, which it's going to be a lot harder to pull away from anybody. These guys are so grouped up. Kempf flirting with the wall there. Justin Rod, I saw him taking a peek in the background. He's running a little bit higher.
And one thing that we heard a lot in interviews last season was drivers making a run in stage number 1, realizing that they were either burning up a little bit too much tyre or that there was more to use to get out of the tyre that was available. And they took that stage break as a reset to sort of recalibrate that level, to use that as we went into the back half of the race to take the race win. That's not a luxury these drivers have anymore. If they're pushing too hard and starting to tail slide through the field, they are going to have to try and reset that at the first green flag pit stop if they don't get a natural caution.
Yeah, I think a lot of drivers were asking for the caution to go away, but to keep the stage. And so I really think that, it kind of forces you to think, we're going to run long. So I need to take care of my tires, and oh my goodness, Justin Rott barely clear across the nose of McCorkle. Gonna get into Probst! They're 3 wide. And I don't know how Justin Rott didn't go around twice.
Oh, now Probst does shuffle into the wall with McCorkle opening up the exit of turn number 2. I'll tell you, Probst is not going to be happy in that number 62 truck. He falls all the way down to the 10th position. And Justin Rott gets away with one. And is now chasing down Rivers Jones, I believe he was fighting with before that little incident.
William Kempf.
We are coming to the end of the stage in just a couple of laps' time. It will be 34, the end of lap 34, where points will be awarded. So it is 2 to go this time by. And Walls has a nice half-second lead from Alex Kerfen. They're running very similar lap times at the front of the field right now. Further back, there's still battles to be decided, especially between Fabian and Kemp here for third.
William Kempf trying to get an extra point, as he is taking the high line around 3 and 4. Michael Walls currently has the lead, and it's just one more time around here in stage number 1. Remember, no caution. Gonna come out at the end of this, and I saw William Kempf almost sliding off of the corner in the background. He is trying hard to get this extra point. Michael Walls off turn number 4, though. He's going to come across the line, and Michael Walls will win stage number 1 here at Kansas.
Yeah, great run from 12th on the grid. Comes through the field quite early to get to the front, I think on lap 13, and has held it ever since. It's Kerfen, Fabian, Kemp, and 4 behind in the top 5. And then Jones, Rott, McCorkle, Durand, Zach Probst picking up your final stage point here at Kansas as we move right on into stage number 2.
So now the question is, when do you come down pit road? Is Jones currently in the wall?
I mean, that could make the answer very easy for the caution that comes out very soon, but I'd say normally if this is going to be a 2-stop race, most of the series it has been, try and split it into thirds, hit around lap 45. Maybe you extend that to those early portions to about lap 50. But you really do not want to make your job any harder at the end of the race by jumping into pit lane right away and giving yourself a long way to go on just a couple more sets of Goodyear tires.
How about Tristan Maher? Up into P12 right now, actually looking for 11th position. Maher started out having some connection issues. He's in pit road trying to figure it out. Did a great job staying on the lead lap. And then making his way from the back to 12th position right now.
Yeah, a great run for Tristan so far, and again, plenty of time still to make it happen. Runs just 5 seconds off the race leader right now. Of course, a few trucks in the way, but as we get through those pit cycles, it if you time the pit stop right, you can very easily end up back in that conversation. Tristan, of course, sitting 5th in the championship with 3 top 5s in 6 starts. Still looking for his first race win on the season. Could it be a comeback drive tonight?
He is trying to get around Von Druska, and he has almost completed that pass. I believe he is going to be clear of Von Druska, and he is. Now Maher going to have his sights set on teammate Zach Probst.
Well, Zach might be carrying a little bit of damage from that coming together with Justin. Is it Justin Raw in the 76 that happened with?
Yeah.
And then Corkle a little bit later in that. You see Probst doesn't actually end up putting up too much of a fight there between Maher and Von Druska. They are both going to slide through. Could be a sign that the 62 might be thinking of a trip towards pit lane in just a few hours' time. No driver yet to make the call here as we take off lap number 41. Fuel tanks are only expected to go about 50 laps, and so the call is going to be coming up soon. And it seems like we might be getting our first comer this time by for Del Fabian in the 11, radioing in. Expect a bit of pit stop this time.
Fabian running in the 3rd position. We'll see if he actually does come in this time by or if he's bluffing.
Sure enough, he's not going to pull the trigger this early. Kind of force something out of Walls or Curfin. He stays out, but Cotonol will kick off the pit cycle here. Down in the fringes of the top 10. Nice clean entry for the 55. Will go 1 lap down, but as it stands right now would be in that lucky dog position if he were to get an unfortunate caution. Just slide the bot slightly though, so he's going to lose a couple seconds.
Battle for the 2nd position is on. Fell Fabian underneath Curfan. And Fabian actually going to get the position from Curfan.
Made the call for a pit stop. Almost a Lewis Hamilton situation, saying that you need new tyres and then suddenly turning faster laps than anyone else. Fidel Fabian up into 2nd. Now it's 1 second or so to chase down to Michael Walls in number 7 truck. This top 3 has a bit of a breakaway now though, as we head into the end of the first stint. Whereas Jones, see at the tail end of this pack, running in the 8th position. I think did burn the tyres a bit too much early. He's going to have to learn from that and recalibrate as we get into stint number 2.
Zach Probst and Levi Poland came down pit road that last time by. This battle for 4th position as far as underneath Kempf. Cody McCorkle right there as well.
Seems like this might be slowing some drivers up. William Kempf does not want to be a part of that fight any longer. It isn't a pull to the inside. It's quite a safe entry down on pit road. Up to the battle now between McCorkle and 4. How much longer do they extend? Now they're going to be more aggressive on the entry to try and mitigate some of the time lost in the undercut. And no, the caution's out! Incident on the bad stretch. And we've got so many drivers on pit road right now. That's a disaster for anyone who pit early.
What happened? It was Levi Poland. He was just on pit road. Oh! It had nothing to do with Poland bringing out the caution per se. It was Ryan Bogey. Poor Poland cannot catch a break. But watch this, what happened to Ryan Bogey off of turn 2. He just gets sideways and right into the 45 of Poland.
I mean, talk about being in the wrong place at the wrong time. You're not even looking to the side in that situation. You're focused forward, maybe making sure you can merge upon the relative, but I mean, there's nothing you can do when a truck that's behind you just suddenly spins off the corner and pushes you into that inside wall. Second time that's happened on the backstretch tonight, and both times it's been from Bodie misjudging the exit of turn 2 a little bit. Field does come down pit road here. Drivers like Dakota Knoll, William Kemp, Justin Durand, and Aaron von Druska are going to have to take a wave around to get through to the lead of the field. It is going to be Michael Walls who wins the race off pit road, and it is 4 wide on the exit. Looks like Alex Kerfen is going to be released second. No, Fidel Fabian waved back ahead. And then Duncan Ford and Justin Raw, the top 5 on the way out the pit lane. Everyone, of course, taking 4 tyres in that stop.
Oh, man. Can this race get any crazier?
I mean, there is a sign on the start-finish that says that it just could. Anything can happen at Kansas. Early cautions, pit road, or pit exit incidents, and of course, maybe a photo finish, as Michael Walls is going to move to the inside. It's going to be his first restart at front of the field. Fidel Fabian chooses high to the outside. Alex Kerfen is going to be second on the inside with Duncan Ford up against the wall.
Closest finish in NASCAR history came from Kansas Speedway as well last year, actually. That was a record I didn't think was going to be, a stat, rather, a feat that I didn't think was going to be touched. Being 2 1,000ths of a second in Darlington in 2003. You come to Kansas and somehow you get closer?
And I mean, we've had finishes within 100th of a second at various plate tracks in the past 20 years or so. Kansas, not what you'd normally consider one of those tracks, but we've seen how it can be, and especially on fresh tyres. I think we can expect a similar sort of restart, at least here. And we'll see how Walls handles it the first time on the front row in this race. Del Fabian got to try and nail that reaction to the inside.
Inside the restart zone, green flag's back out. And Fidel Fabian did not really get a good jump there. Kerfan did, however. I was thinking it was going to be the opposite with Fidel Fabian. Being a teammate of Michael Walls, he might have the advantage of knowing when Walls is going to go.
Yeah, it just didn't work out, and that bottled up to Duncan Ford a little bit as well. Ended up falling to the 5th position. Now Kerfen to the inside is going to take the lead back. Started on the pole and will lead here, lap number 51. We've seen how good Walls is in the long run. Is he going to be patient, or is he going to go right back for it? He goes to the outside here in 1 of 2. Can Alex Kerfen hold on? It looks like he's going to be able to off the border.
I think it's that Walls has had an advantage with the clean air, and he wants that clean air back. He knows Kerfan cannot take it. You see what Walls is going to do for it as he took a elevator drop down to the inside of Kerfan.
And I mean, these weigh about 2 tons. It's tricky not just to get it down there that quickly, but to make sure you get it straightened back out and hold that inside groove without, losing control of the truck. They don't like turning right very much, and with how quickly he turned down the racetrack, you got to put in a lot of angle to the opposite side, get it straightened back out again. Walls did a great job. He's going to have the advantage off turn 4. Will lead the lap, but, I mean, he showed Alex Kerr in the notebook at that point. I wouldn't be surprised if 30 tries the exact same thing when he gets close next.
This wall's going to clear. Now try to set sail. Kerfan following in tow of Michael Walls. What a move for Walls to get the race lead back.
And set consecutive fastest laps as well. 31.0 the last couple times by. This time a 31.2 as those tyres start to bed into their long run. But all 17 drivers on the lead lap are within 4 seconds right now. No gap larger than 1 second. And it just shows how big of a difference the racing style is between those fresh tyres and once they start to get a little bit of wear on them.
Taking a look at William Kempf. Remember, he was on the back end of, well, having that caution work out in his favor. It didn't. And he had to start in the back after taking a wave around. He's in 10th position, which is where he started this race.
Yeah, now is definitely the time to try and make moves, if you can, with everyone bunched up as they are. Kemp is within 2 seconds of your leader, so as long as he can keep that pace and not get caught up in battles, like with Tristan Mahu ahead, he can deal himself straight back into this one. We restarted with 84 laps to go. You expect a couple stints of 42, and that's about how far we went in that first run under green. And so definitely in familiar territory. These drivers know what they need to do at this point. They got that reset. It's just a matter of executing the best that they can on saving the tyre to the exact moment they need to make that pit stop.
Michael Walls just staying right here just in front of Alex Kerfan. It's a train. It's everybody's single file. But Kerfan, he is right in the tailgate of Walls. And Justin Rott's right there as well. I mean, 6 of the top 7 are all a part of the same team. Kerfan is the only one that is not with these guys on go.
And when you've got that many drivers, though, how much teamwork is going on between them? Or are they sort of trying to run their own race, trying to get what they can get out of this? Because it almost becomes a bit of an intra-team rivalry. Sort of similar to what you'd see at maybe JRM in the Xfinity Series, always running at the front of the field. It means that they end up going gloves off each other a lot of the time.
And we very well could see that. Just watched Gazzola clip the wall a couple laps ago, and could have McCorkle able to get on by. Gazzola's struggling right now. Wall starting to pull inches away from Kerfan. I think this might be where the clean air is starting to really help Michael Walls.
Yeah, has the freedom to use the entire racetrack without worrying about whether he's going to have daylight in front of him. He was under a lot of pressure about 5 laps ago from the trucks behind. They're now sort of hanging back about a minute and a half. The question whether they're biding the time or whether they're just struggling to find that advantage in the slipstream now.
So Tristan Maher get around Gabe Cazzola. Maher is quick. I would not count him out. So we still have ways to go in this race. They're coming 71 laps left in the 988 Suicide Awareness 200 Kansas. Oh my goodness. I think Cazzola's really struggling. He does not have the pace, and William Kempf gonna get on by Cazzola. Stephen Luttrell gonna try the same thing. He peaked low, now peaking high.
He was sort of between 3 and 5/10 a lap slower for the past couple of laps compared to the drivers around him. Definitely the first one to struggle on this set of tyres. Again, about 15 laps into the run. Fall off is already at 1.5 seconds from what we saw at the restart. Just shows that pushing that tiny bit too hard early, fighting for those early positions without thinking about the long run pace can really start to bite you early in that mid-stint.
Fidel Fabian might be a little bit stronger than Justin Raw here as Fabian takes a peek to the inside of that 76 Justin Raw. Fabian gonna take the shortcut around, taking that apron. A lot of drivers doing that. They want to try to pass the guy in front, but Justin Raw holds position.
Yeah, I'd say the trickiest thing about that apron isn't necessarily the transition on the banking. It's only about 10 degrees up in the front stretch tri-oval. But it's about making sure you get all the way back out to the wall nice and early so that you can get that good arc into the corner. It'd be very easy to try and hold flow a little bit too long, and then you're almost having to over-rotate the truck because you start pulling outwards, and then you've got to turn in to the arc of turn number 1.
Caution!
And it's Gabe.
Let's see what happened. Oh my. He had help.
He did have help, but it was also that scrape of the wall through turn 2 that I think caused a bit of a check-up in the truck that maybe Justin Duran behind wasn't quite prepared for.
No, not at all. I don't think Justin Rand had any intent of doing that. And I would not put blame on Justin Rand at all. Gabe Cazzola, I mean, we talked about it. He's struggling and continue to struggle. Looks like just get so tight off of the corner exit, and then started to slide. Got clipped by Justin Rand.
Everyone is going to take this opportunity to come down pit road, put on a fresh set of tyres. We mentioned how heavy the fall-off was. And with that first stage running green from about lap 10 or so, they do have the extra sets they need to make this call. The only question would become, is it possible to fuel save? I'm going to say no. It's going to be about 60 laps to the end Normally, at an intermediate like this, we'd expect about 50 laps to be the limit. So it's going to be about a sort of shorter run here. Maybe splitting it in half and running 30 laps on a set of tyres. Means you can push that little bit harder without, of course, making sure you don't end up in a similar spot to what the 95 just had.
So Michael Walls easily wins the race off pit road. What do you got to do if you're one of these drivers not wanting to see Michael Walls run away with this? I think Walls has been so aggressive on the restarts to get the front, get the clean air, take the lead, and just run away with it. And I think if you're Alex Kerr fan, you might need to pressure Walls a little bit more. Try to show him that you want the lead too.
Yeah, I think you've got to meet him at that level of aggression, really. You're not going to win by sitting behind him. We've seen that, especially once that dirty air starts to play a factor, he is just going to run away with it. And I think that is the crucial thing to keep an eye on. Who can be more aggressive in the early run to try and keep Walls behind for maybe 5-10 laps and try and turn that dirty air around on the number 7.
So we are 1 to green. Michael Walls, Alex Kerfan going to be the front row. Justin Rott, Rivers Jones on row 2. Duncan Faub, Fidel Fabian, row 3. It's a whole lot of goat in one radius in the first 3 rows. Chicana Motorsports with PBR Manufacturing in row 4 with McCorkle and Maher. The pace truck is in. These drivers going to be inside the restart zone. Green flag's back out, and this time it is a great jump by Justin Rott. Help of Michael Walls. Kerfan going to fall down to 3rd.
And you think that might have been coordinated?
Oh, yeah.
You see Walls herds the inside on exit, doesn't let Raw get to the outside. I think almost he made sure that Raw had the overlap so that he couldn't pull the crossover move. If you're walled out up to the side of a truck rather than at the rear bumper, it really restricts you from making that crossover. And I think Walls might be playing that right now to make sure that Raw can't get to the inside.
I think you're right. He's doing a great job. These two have had plenty of battles this season so far, and they're battling once again. Rott got real tight off the corner X, but look at these guys back here.
Well, this could get ugly here. This is very tight in this battle.
Oh, it gets ugly.
Goes around.
He saves it.
Saves it.
How?
My goodness.
I mean, he's going to lose a ton of positions here. 5th to 16th. What in the world?
He nearly lost a motor if he'd have had a bad snap there. Did an amazing job to let the truck almost correct itself on the brakes. Not using too much steering angle to have that counter steer snap into the wall. And then just keeps it up against the wall in turn 2 to get out of everyone's way. Yes, he's carrying damage. Yes, he's at the tail end of the field. And it is just contact. He sort of just has the truck behind force his way into that closing gap. What a job to keep that truck in the race.
That was absolutely incredible. We could have had a very bad accident right there and be under yellow for the 5th time right at this moment. But instead, we are still green. And we have a battle for the race lead as Justin Rott is right there once again with Michael Walls. How hard does Rott pressure Walls?
I mean, they have quite a breakaway here to the trucks behind. That checked up the field in that instant 5th place. McCorkle's a second behind this pack for another 4/10 behind him. I think if there's any time to try and work together to try and pull away for this lead quartet, it is right now. Though, of course, there is that fear that Walls is just going to take advantage of that, use that clean air, and never give up the race lead. Do you just sit and wait for this stint and try and pull the move in the pit cycle? Or do you push now and risk inviting a bunch more drivers into the party?
I mean, I don't feel like you can wait. If this does go green, we know we're going to have a green flag pit stop. I don't think you can. I think the clean air is going to be way too powerful, and Walls, all he has to do is just wait for you to make the move.
It's going to be a tricky one, I think. Again, we're expecting the pit stops to fall at about lap 100, so still 20 laps away for when we start expecting them. Some drivers could pull the trigger early, but with such a wide window, you're really putting yourself at risk of falling a lap down, having to take that wave round and then still having those old tyres. Raw is not going to wait. He's going to go to the outside. Walls, I don't know how he was clear to move up in front of Raw there. That could have very easily turned the 7 into the outside wall. They are driving on a knife edge right now. But Walls is defending that race lead from the 76 behind.
And he's doing an incredible job. Justin Rott, he is an incredible race car driver who is probably going to be one of the drivers fighting for a championship at season's end. Walls, he knows that he's a great race car driver as well, and that he's got a chance. And if he can just continue to hold off Rott, this is just going to build confidence for Walls.
Yeah, Walls leads the championship right now. Has finished in the top 10 in every single race of the season. The one thing missing is that W. He's finished second the past 2 weeks behind his teammate. He does not want to let it happen a third time. And as we approach the final 50 laps of action here at Kansas, I think we already know that Walls will do everything he can to keep that 76 behind.
And Walls has had a couple of really good races this season taken away from him as well. So a lot more motivation for Walls to continue to hold off Justin Rott.
And they are keeping that pack at bay for the time being. McCorkle's closed in a little bit, but at the same time, they are not letting Kerfman and Jones stay on the back of them. It's sort of two separate two-car fights right now at the front of the field. But they're playing the team game well enough right now, but they are very clearly both fighting for themselves as well.
Abe Cazzola, I saw, was into the wall, and oh, he's going to have contact with Dakota Knoll! That was almost an accident. Dakota Knoll gets clear. Cazzola continues to struggle, hits the wall hard! He comes down off of it and almost gets into Luttrell.
And Van Droosten going to try and capitalise as well. It's going to sneak up the inside into P12. If a caution came out now, it would be within the window to grab a full tank of fuel and make it to the end of the race. We'll see if it's able to stay green. We've got some drivers still under a blanket with that shorter run, allowing them to attack more on this set of tyres. But
Oh!
Cazorla is really struggling. Another death wobble off turn number 2. Holds on to it. And now only has Fabian and Thornton behind in this lead group.
And they are quite a ways behind as well. A couple seconds, that is. Cazorla, he is having a night he does not want to remember.
I think that comes down to the trap temp again. Still at about 110 Fahrenheit, 43 Celsius. It is a beautiful August afternoon here in Kansas City. And these Goodyear tires are not...
Pretty high winds too. 9 and 10 mile per hour. Justin Rock going all the way up against the wall.
It's blowing from the southwest, which means that you're getting that sort of crosswind through 1 and 2 and the tailwind on exit. I think that's what's causing some of the instability, some of the drivers sort of over pushing mid-corner.
Justin Rock really flirting with that wall. Gabe Cazorla
getting swallowed up now by Fabian and Thornton. Fabian, you got to imagine driving a bit angry after that save in turn 2, getting spun around by Green McCorkle. He is going to fly through. He's hoping for a caution to give him a second lease on life in this one. And Stephen Thornton going to look for a way around the 95 here. We're talking about the wind. Did you know that when the wind was first added to iRacing, it was found to be madly strong, and it's now actually set to 1/3 of the strength of whatever the wind speed shows in game, purely to simulate things like the earth banks on the outside of the corners and other sort of scenery and buildings. That means that the wind speed is less at the ground level than what it would be up in the sky.
I did not know that, actually.
There's a really fun blog post about it when they sort of were early in development of the wind system.
How long has that been in iRacing?
Not sure about that one. It's definitely before my time. I'd imagine about 10 years or so.
So I've been on iRacing 9 years, and I don't ever remember it not being there.
That you don't really notice the wind until it sort of ruins a race, and then you go into the weather tab and look and go, damn tailwind caught me out. I missed my braking zone.
The battle for the 10th position. Justin Rand also battling with Tristan Maher for the 7th position.
And we are going to be 40 laps to go next time by. I'd say the window would be open for drivers who want to make an early pit stop, maybe take a bit of a gamble, but they are going to be suffering by the end of the race. I'd expect drivers to try and go another 10 laps or so if they're able, especially if you're in the lead and don't have someone trying to force a response out of you.
I'm very interested to see when these drivers are going to pit. Who's going to make the call first? How long does Walls wait? Are we going to have
if I had to make a prediction, I think anyone in the top 5, once they pit, will respond to the next lap.
I think you're right.
You've got to be careful to not look too far behind, to trust yourself to make those overtakes. If, say, 12th place is to make an early pit stop, because you need to focus on where your battle is for that race lead. But I think that entire sort of top 5 group, Wolves is going to consider a threat and is going to want to respond to make sure he keeps the track position.
I agree with you. The further you get in the field, you know, if somebody in the middle of the pack comes down pit road first, it's going to be, I mean, they'll have a few laps if you stay out, you know, a few laps and they'll be right there with you. But by the time you pit, you'll have the advantage. So I agree. I think Rott, Kerfan, Jones, or McCorkle, one of them come down, Walls is going to respond very quickly. And the other question is, we had a caution the last time these guys were on a green flag cycle. Could we have another one?
I think it's definitely possible, especially I think we're going to have some drivers further back in the field, as Dakota Knoll is the first one to pull the trigger here in the 55. I think we're going to have some drivers sort of on that edge of the top 10 who try and extend until the fuel runs out. And that could end up causing a caution as they sort of struggling to hold on old tyres. But I think if you're the leader, you have to respond to your most immediate threat, and that is Justin Raw and Alex Kerfan, who come down pit road together. They'd be side by side, and entry Kerfan in a little bit hot, and they have both. No, sorry, it's Kerfan's been black flagged. Maha got black flagged behind. Justin Raw got away with it with a slightly more cautious entry, but that is Alex Kerfan out of contention, pushed a little bit too hard on pit entry and getting caught out by Raw, slowing up ahead.
Here comes Walls. Walls slowing down. Jones, McCorkle, they're doing the same.
And that looked inch perfect from Walls. That was a perfect aggressive stop to respond to the trucks that tried to catch you a little bit off guard. See where he cycles out. Well, that does it promotes William Kemp and Justin Durand to the race lead, as, I mean, everyone in that lead battle responded there on lap 100.
Here's Justin Rott going through 3 and 4. Walls rolling on pit road, exiting now.
Kemp peels down. It's just Durand, Littrell, and O'Neill. At the very front, Stephen Thornton as well.
Rott's going to have it. Rott's going to get past Michael Walls.
And that just shows how powerful the undercut is. That was a 1-lap undercut, and it was not a slow pit entry from Walls. The gap on track now about 1.7 seconds. He's got Alex Kerfan to deal with ahead on fresh tyres, but a lap down. He's got Shane O'Neill a lap behind, but on old tyres. This is nightmare traffic for Walls. They're both going to give him the top side, not get in the way of the fight. But he's going to close down 1.8 seconds with just a 1-lap tyre advantage and only about 30 laps to do it.
It's incredible.
And just incredible. Dakota Knoll is, I think, net P4 right now. Hit just a lap before Justin Raw. So he doesn't have that bad of a tyre delta, but has made the absolute most of that undercut and now runs just a couple of seconds behind your net race leaders.
That's great move by Dakota Knoll. See how he fares in that. Dakota Knoll, I mean, if you look at his career stats in the BSR Grid Network Truck Series, it looks like a dumpster fire. I mean, he is quick. He's always been quick. But the amount of DNFs he has is incredible. One win, though.
Finished third at Daytona back in January. Before that, hasn't had a top 10 since Kentucky back in 2023. About 15 starts ago. This would be a huge win if Dakota Knoll could hold on to maybe even a top 5 here. As you mentioned, his one race win coming in a race at Phoenix back in 2022. He's had good pace all day, but especially that final pit cycle. It's given him a chance. But he's going to be on the back foot as the tyres wear off as we get towards the end of the race. And we have some very fast drivers in pursuit. William Kemp and Justin Durand just about 3 seconds back. Walls is closing faster.
Yeah, he is. I think he's pushing hard. I think he is pushing his tires hard, and so right now, if you're Justin Rott, just take it easy. You're going to have the advantage. Still 28 laps to go. There is no reason to push if you're Justin Rott. Let Walls come to you. Let him burn his stuff up. You're going to be okay. Top 3 all have yet to come down pit road. Shane O'Neill leading the race. And Shane O'Neill's going to say now's the time, maybe? Nope, stays out.
And this is crucial because it's letting a bunch of drivers back onto the lead lap. That danger zone is only really... I mean, no one's really in that danger zone anymore. You've got Kerfen, McCorkle, and Maher, but I think those are all drivers who sped or had some other issues in the pit lane. And so, really, everyone who made a clean green flag pit stop is back on the lead lap now. If caution were to come out, then they would likely cycle to the front unless they chose to take their final set of tyres under caution. That could keep O'Neill, Thornton, and Gabe Cazzola staying out, trying to roll the dice one last time on this one. We get a caution before and some drivers decide they need fresh tyres. I could put them at the front for the final restart.
Oh, and this would be incredible. I mean...
We say final restart. I'd imagine it'd get quite feisty if it had a restart that late in the race, and we could end up extending into overtime.
Yeah, I agree. But that could be incredible. If we get a caution with these 3 drivers still out there, it'd have to come quick.
Yeah, Walls and Raw are catching by about 2 seconds a lap as things stand. So O'Neill maybe, had a bit of a drop, is now back in the session. But meanwhile, we're talking about the drivers who are catching. They're about to get into their own scrap. Walls right on the rear bumper of Justin Raw. It's run about 1/10 of a second quicker per lap in the past couple. But now he's got to navigate that move around the 76. Try and block the three-peat and take his first win of the season. He goes apron. Raw responds, but he's got the nose there. And he is going to be able to dictate the line through turns 1 and 2. Great run mid-corner for Justin Raw here. He's going to stay to the outside, but just overcuts it, catches the wall, and Michael Walls moves into the 4th position and your net race lead.
Walls was super aggressive there. He wanted the spot. He got it. I'm surprised he's starting to pull away from Justin Roth, though. Again, I think he's abusing his tires.
Yeah, I mean, in this situation, if you're Wars, you need to try and almost walk away. Just keep Raw far enough behind to not put an attack without putting that pressure on those Goodyears to maybe invite him back in. You've got Rivers Jones about 2 seconds behind you, who's on the same age of tyre. Duncan Ford as well, so you're a little bit worried that things could come to blows if you push too hard right now. Meanwhile, Dakota Knoll under fire from Kemp and Durand. We mentioned they'd be catching with that tyre delta. Kemp gets through on the inside. Durand will follow on the outside. Did a bump draft, the 0-9, and get them both clear of the 55, who is just managing those slightly older tyres. Has 5 seconds back now to Aaron von Druska. He'll hope to try and defend that to the end of the race for what would be a net P7. Again, his best finish in quite a while.
This is actually a battle for the 11th position. Vondruska and Luttrell. Luttrell is going to easily clear Vondruska. Take 11.
And that's just 3 laps of tyre delta between the two of them. If Luttrell can get to Knoll, that's a 5-lap difference, and so you can expect the move to almost be twice as easy for him. Meanwhile, Walls has a little bit of traffic to deal with, has Gabe Piazzolla, who of course is going to move to the outside, try to leave a lane open. But if you catch them at the wrong time, as we come through these drivers extending, hoping for a late caution, it could very easily let Justin Rourke come back into the picture, let Rivers Jones start to play a part in this one. Walls has just 18 laps to try and hold on, but he's got to be inch perfect if he wants to take this race win at Kansas.
Yeah, I'm impressed that he's been able to do this. I mean, 1 lap fresher tire than Rott, but it just looked like he was pushing so hard. So they're going to go around Stephen Thornton now for 2nd place. And way up the road is still Shane O'Neill.
Yeah, we are well into the window where a caution would force drivers to make a call down pit lane. But we're also well in the window where the fuel tank is going to be running dry on these drivers. O'Neill is going to continue on for a little while longer, but the caution would need to come out right now. And the only real hope would be the battle between Kemp and Durand, who are running about a couple of tenths apart and have been racing pretty close the past couple. Zola has peeled in. It's just O'Neill and Thornton trying to hang on. I think that shows that it could be any moment, and in fact O'Neill is going to peel down pit lane here, and it will hand over the official race lead to Michael Walls with just 14 laps to go at Kansas.
It's just incredible. Rivers Jones in 3rd. Not far off these guys. Jones on the same tire run as Walls, 21 laps. Rod, of course, 1 more lap than that, 22.
He's running faster than Raw, still by about a tenth per lap. the last few times by. I think it's going to come down to whether Rivers Jones can find a way through. And, I mean, whether Raw is going to try and defend that move from the 18, or whether he is going to give Rivers a chance at walls.
I agree. I don't know. It blows my mind that Rod is falling off of walls. .3 is the difference between Walls and Rod that last time by. And here comes Rivers Jones to the inside of Rot. They've got a lap truck of Lyndon Bingaman also right there as well. So they're 3 wide.
And in fact, Jones waved Lyndon through, knew the 20-lap tyre delta was going to be too much to fight and wanted it to become a 2-car battle as quickly as possible. Of course, the 18 hoping maybe a little bit that Lyndon has a run-in with Walls ahead. But I'm sure the 7 is going to make this very, very easy on the 35. It's all the way to the low side. It's going to make Bingaman work the high side. It's going to hold up Micro a little bit. Maybe not enough for Jones, as he's now, again, 3/10 behind Raw. And I think maybe got caught out, had that lap trip captured just the wrong time as he was going for that move. And these are the sort of margins that can make or break a race in the final 10 laps.
Oh yeah, Mike Walls did not want to stay side by side with Bingaman like he did. And now he's got some dirty air from Bingaman. It won't be for long though. Bingaman's going to drive away very quickly, but still kind of in some dirty air. Michael Walls, he's coming to 7 to go in the 988 Suicide Awareness 200.
Fidel Fabian, by the way, has recovered for a top 10 right now. Is currently lining up Aaron Von Druska to try and make that P9. And what a recovery drive to make in that last stint with no caution to bail him out after he got sent sideways through 1 and 2. Going to be a decent haul of points for the 11 crew despite that, as he looks to line up a move on Aaron.
And he's going to struggle a little bit. They both came down pit road at the same time. Fidel Fabian, though, taking a peek underneath Vondruska.
We've got Shane O'Neill cutting his way through this top 3 as well now. Again, one of the last drivers to make the pit stop. The tyres are about 8 laps old now, and so the wear starts to play a factor. The delta between the drivers isn't quite as strong, but O'Neill's still able to make the move around the top through 1 and 2. As we approach 4 laps to go, this could be the final speed bump in Walls' way. Kemp and Durand fight for the 5th position as well. They've swapped positions about 5 times in the final stint here. Kemp has 1 lap older tyres, but is doing a great job fighting with Durand here. Shuffles him to the outside line into turn number 1.
Kemp has really become a wheelman. Oh, Durand in the wall.
Good job holding on to it there. Again, 3 laps to go for your race leader. A caution now would deal us straight into overtime. I'm sure Wall's hoping that the track stays green for just another minute as he gives Shane O'Neill the top side. He'll become the 11th and final truck on the lead lap as we come to 2 laps to go in this one. And Walls has a gap of over a second to Rawton Jones behind.
Yeah, 2 laps to go. Walls hoping we don't have a yellow. See, he's on the back straightaway. Entering turn 3. Michael Walls, he's going to see the white flag. So 1 lap to go here at Kansas. Walls, he wanted this one. From 12th to 1st. In the first few laps of the race. And he has really not looked back. He's coming through turns 3 and 4. On the front straightaway, Micah Walls. He's going to see the checkered flag and win at Kansas.
What a fantastic run from Walls there. We'll have to get the final stats, but it's got to be about 100 laps led after starting down on the 6th row of the grid. He takes his first win of the season and will extend that championship lead. It is Raw and Jones who come home 2nd and 3rd. For Kempf, Durand, Knoll, Trell, Fabian, and then Aaron Von Druska round out the top 10. This is a high-speed celebration, trying to get it sliding through 1 and 2. That's great car control there from the number 7.
Go!
This one might be a bit too much, and that truck is going to have trouble in inspection now.
All right, well, Justin Roth, the winner. I'm kidding. Mike Walls did an incredible job. Teammates going to celebrate. Kurt fan going to give him a congratulatory bump. And what a fantastic race for Michael Walls.
And for the rest of GOAT Racing, that is a dominant showing from that crew. And Walls and Raw especially sharing the top 2 spots in now the last 3 races. But even behind them, it has been a fantastic run for everyone on that team.
The top 4 finishers tonight are all a part of GOAT. Let's go ahead and take a look at our unofficial race results. And it is Michael Walls, of course, with the race win. Justin Rott coming home in 2nd. Rivers Jones brings it home 3rd. Duncan Fall 4th. William Kempf, how about that? A 5th place run out of him. Justin Rand in 6th. Dakota Knoll, P7. Stephen Luttrell in 8th. Fidel Fabian 9th. And Aaron Von Druska finishes in 10th position.
We have Shane O'Neill, the final truck on the lead lap, with Stephen Thornton, Gabe Zola finishing behind. Cody McCorkle and Tristan Maher, I believe, both picked up penalties on pit road through that final cycle. They finished 14th and 15th ahead of Lyndon Bingaman and Alex Kerfen, again, who was in that lead fight, picked up a speeding penalty alongside Justin Raw, ends up finishing 2 laps down. Randy Payne stayed in it after some early issues ends up finishing 16 laps down, but in P18. And then your retirements from tonight's race are Ryan Bodie, Zach Probst, Levi Poland, Alonso Chicano, and Philip Scott.
You know, I want to point out before we get into our interviews how I didn't say it out loud, but I kind of thought you were crazy taking Michael Walls as the race winner with him starting in 12th position.
I mean, he's made it. He's shown in the past couple of weeks what he's capable of. I just had to believe in the first win of the season for him.
Yeah, that was incredible. But let's go ahead and talk to our top three. Starting with Rivers Jones. Hey, Rivers, was a third place finish out of you tonight. You were my pick to win. Thought you could get it done. You that kind of a rough race. I mean, staying up front, but looked like you were struggling a little bit there early on. Walk us through how that race went for you.
Yeah, it was, like you said, it was kind of rough. Qualified, I believe it was second, so I was pretty confident that I could be fast. Then we had those quick cautions, and I was hoping I'd be able to steal lead away from Alex, but I wasn't able to. Eventually lost a couple spots and fell back to fourth for a little while. And the car just was pretty terrible all race. It was just ridiculously tight. So I ended up smacking the wall coming out of turn 2 at some point, and just kind of killed the right front for a little while. I just fell back to 8th or 9th. Then had a caution, was able to come down pit road, repair the damage. It wasn't even that much. It was like 10 seconds, but man, it just made the car incredibly tight, even more than it already was. So fall back to 10th. I think I finished like 8th in the stage. Just kind of climbed back up the field. Knew it was fast, but it's just so hard to make up time here, because that last run I was fourth, and I mean, it was fourth for so long, and I just couldn't really make any moves, which is pretty frustrating. Everybody was just going the same speed for a little while, and then pit stops happened. Justin and Alex pit a lap before Micah and I did, and then Alex sped on pit road, so I came out third, and I think it was 3 seconds behind Justin, and about 2 behind Micah. Then I was in clean air, so I was able to get some cleaner air, obviously, but it helped the car rotate. Then I was closing for a little while, then kind of just hit a wall at some point. Tried making a couple passes on Justin, but it's wrong place, wrong time. Had some lap cars kind of mess with what I was trying to do, which it's just racing. It's kind of frustrating not being able to do anything.
All right, well, sponsor shout outs. Who gets it done for you?
Shout out to Mom and Dad first and foremost. Love y'all so much. This is the first time that I'm racing this series from my college dorm, and they're back home watching, I believe. So love you guys so much. Can't wait to see y'all next week. We're going to a 9 Inch Nails concert, so that's gonna be really cool. Shout out to Justin and Micah, got 1, 2. Oh, and Duncan raced tonight too. He got 4th. Really good showing from him. And Fidel. I don't know where Fidel finished, but he ran really well too. So yeah, good night for the team.
P9 for Fidel. But
Yeah, solid finish.
congrats to the team on that, and congrats to you on the podium.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. Thank you guys for broadcasting the race as always.
All right. And that was Rivers Jones, third place finisher. And Olivia, I believe you have caught up with Justin Rott.
Sure have.
Maybe.
Justin, welcome to the booth. And once again, congratulations on a third consecutive 1-2 finish with Walls. Unfortunately, couldn't get the three-peat done tonight on your end, but still a hell of a day for the team. Talk us through how it was out on track there today.
I'll be honest, that was terrible. I don't know how it was to watch, but it was not fun whatsoever to drive. I'm sure Mike is going to come say the same thing, and maybe Rivers did too. None of us enjoyed it. Yeah, I guess it's fun to race with teammates for most of the race, but I mean, it just plowed, and then there was no real feeling off the corners when it would get a little loose. So, I mean, I really had no idea what was happening with my truck, and it would just, like, I don't know how to save the tires if I don't feel it at all. I don't know. Maybe it was just me. But I think the racing in general wasn't great. But still a good finish. I felt like I was pretty bad most of that race, so second is pretty good. It's just like I got to second on the one restart, and that's all it took, like, at all. There's no passing. No matter how hard you tried, really. You had to wall a guy or something to pass, and outside of the first 2 laps of a restart, and that's just not fun. So I don't know. Hope we either come back here with a custom setup or a better truck, or we just don't come back here.
We are going to head out of here, of course, and then next week we head on over to Indianapolis for 80 laps over at the Brickyard. You're expecting a little bit better racing over in Indianapolis?
I hope so. Last time we went there, Ethan went and jumped the entire field on lap like 8, so I don't even know how it's gonna race in this truck. I know him and Steven had a good battle for Godink for the win last time out at Indy. I wrecked out really early, so I don't really know if I had pace in it. I'm excited though. I guess it's a fun track, and I think the truck benefits a little more there than like the Cup car would, where you kind of go to the inside and then just the outside will just train you because you're so on top of each other. I think the bottom is a lot more dominant in the truck most places than it is in some of the other cars, so I think you'll be able to pass a little bit more. But yeah, I think teamwork will be huge, and we've obviously done a really, really good job as of late with that. So, and I expect us to all run pretty well, and hopefully Mikey and Cam, they get back, and Kerfan is a complete race, and we can all race together because they're fun guys to race against, and I'll be honest, it's pretty boring without them out there.
All right, well, we look forward to that. Next time out, your 5th top 5 on the season. Is there anything you want to say to the fans at home? Now is the time. Congratulations on another strong result.
Thank you. Shout out to Micah, of course, on the win. Had a little bit of fun racing him. Rivers, he was losing his mind at the end trying to pass me, and good run for him though. Duncan finally showed up again, got a good finish out of it. Bogey, I convinced him to race. Bogey for the paint scheme. I love this car. I'm a big Ryan Blaney fan, so this thing's beautiful. Rivers did the spec map a little while ago, and Bogey did it up for me. Randy qualified pretty well. Fabian ran really strong. He did a really, really good job on his tires. Like, definitely the quickest I've ever seen him on iRacing. So a lot to build on for him. And Gabe was out there. Steven and Jer, good luck in Nitro. Or hopefully they're both racing and doing well. Yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you guys for a good broadcast.
All right, well, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.
That was Justin Raw, your second place finisher here tonight. And now Josh is going to catch up with your race winner.
Indeed, I am. Michael Walls. How about that, a race win for you?
Yeah, finally.
First of all, Olivia picked you for the pick to win, and I thought it was a crazy pick. Gonna be honest. Starting in 12th, but I was wrong. And you went up to the front very quick, and just really never looked back. We've heard it from your teammates, their opinions on this race, and how hard it was to pass. What was your opinions on how tonight went?
Honestly, I mean, a lot of people were going to say that didn't really like the track. It's kind of hard to pass, dirty air, this and that. But honestly, I thought it wasn't too bad. But I was also out there leading. Tire saving was also a big thing. Compared to everybody else that I was talking to, I was saving tires 10 times better than them. So yeah, it wasn't too hard for me. So.
Well, you made it look easy out there. You led 100 laps. It was a 134 lap race. You led 100 laps. Pretty incredible. There was some early cautions, and then a caution during the green flag pit cycle in the middle of the race. So how do you kind of reset for those? And especially in the beginning when you're working your way to the front.
Yeah, those early cautions, it kind of hurt me a little bit, but I knew I could probably I threw it up the outside of everybody and got a huge run, and I guess that caution in the middle of the run during green flag stops, it kind of helped me a little bit. So we got a good start, and not a lot of people can beat me on the restart and how I do it. But other than that, we were kind of on cruise control the entire race, just watching football and racing, so...
All right, sponsor shout-outs. Who gets it done for you?
I got to shout out the GOAT guys, and I got to shout out Bill.
All right, short and sweet. Congrats on the win, and we'll see you next time out at Indianapolis. That was Michael Walsh, your race winner here tonight. Olivia, what are your final thoughts?
I think it's just a story of total team control here. Goat Racing have been absolutely on fire in this mid-phase of the season. And this time it is the turn of Michael Walls to take home that race win. We are coming towards the end of the regular season. We'll see just how it goes and whether anyone can try and break through that group. We go next week to Indianapolis.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty fun race at the Brickyard. But Kansas, I mean, it looked exciting for us. There was lots of battling going on. It did get strung out a little bit, but overall, I don't think it was that bad of a race here tonight at Kansas for the 988 Suicide Awareness 200. I'm excited to see what the Brickyard is going to bring next time out at Indianapolis. That should be a lot of fun. So that's going to do it from us here at Kansas. And let's see. Nothing coming up on JCTV before Indianapolis, September 6th, 1 week from tonight. So, tune in next week, 7:50-ish p.m. Eastern Time, where we will have live coverage from the Brickyard. So big thanks to the fans, the admins, and the drivers. Without you guys, this would not be possible. And Olivia, thank you as always for everything you do And so on behalf of the entire outstanding crew at JCTV and Olivia Hayward, I'm Joshua Copnell, signing off, saying so long, stay safe, and we will see you next time. Take care.